Father, tonight we come to you thankful for the opportunity to be here and watch such an incredible sport. Tonight we'd like to ask you to hand guidance be with our cowboys and cowgirls, not only them, but livestock as well. We're to say a very special prayer for our servicemen and women, whether they be here at home or even abroad, protecting and defending the freedoms we so dearly love as free Americans. We come to you this day thankful, humble. We ask forgiveness. In your mighty name we pray. Amen.
Faith, family, hard work, determination, true American patriotism, the American cowboy. Rodeo is more than a sport. It's a community. It's an extension of family. It's a sport born out of the age-old industry of ranching. Rodeo athletes represent the real meaning of hard work and dedication to the job. They represent the best of traditional American values.
When you think about the rodeo, it reminds me of a maxim that my mom and dad taught me. The measure of man is not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. And that's the true thing that you see in rodeos. You see these guys and gals that get back up and get back on the horse, get back on the bull, but they continue to press on. And when you look at the patriotism that's at a rodeo, or just the same as when you see a NASCAR, that's the essence of America. Because some of our professional sports that don't want to play the national anthem, that allow their athletes to kneel when the anthem is played. See, the national anthem means a lot in our family. The flag means a lot in our family because the flag draped the casket of my dad, a World War II veteran. It draped the casket of my father-in-law, a Vietnam veteran. It draped the casket of my mother, who did 25 years civilian service to the United States Marine Corps. It's going to drape the casket of my older brother, a Vietnam veteran Marine. It's going to drape my casket. It's going to drape the casket of my wife because she's a daughter and also the spouse of career military officers. And it's going to drape my nephew's casket as well. He's a lieutenant colonel in the Army. He's served 3 combat tours of duty already. He's carrying on that tradition. And so when you go to the rodeo and you see those values, when you see the family values that are there, that's what America's all about. And that's why I think the Western states are so important. You know, if we could just inculcate some of those values and principles into some of these large urban centers where young people are not getting taught those values. They're not being taught that you can be a victor. They're being told that they're a victim. See, when you go to a rodeo, you don't see victims. You see Americans. You see victors.
We got to know him 1 year ago on this stage. Your reigning American champ and your 2020 reigning tie-down roping world champion, Shad Mayfield.
Rodeo is so important because it drives us to be better. It's a lifestyle for me and others also, and it's something that others coming up could grow into and be on the right path to do. And you got to have a tough work ethic to be successful in rodeo, and you got to work at it. And I think it's great for kids coming up, and it's just something that'd be great for anybody really, just because the rodeo environment's a great environment to be in. I've had a dream of being a part of rodeo my whole life, and it's just something you have to work hard for and be consistent at every day. You got to put in the time and work to do it, and it's just something that you got to dedicate yourself to be the best at it, and it's something you can't ever give up. You know, there's been times that everyone wants to give up because it's not going your way, but most importantly, you can't give up.
It's hard to beat. This kid's late, running hard. He's a little late, but see, he's got no scare and no fear in him. He's going to just put this in the way for second go around, not first.
Oh, wow.
7-5, but that whole run was made because he has no fear in using that long rope. You know what I mean? He takes 2 swings right there, and he fires it at him where you could have took 2 more swings. Watch this. Okay. The kid's way out there. You know what he does? He just bears up and throws it. And it just skips a little bit on, but when he does, he catches him coming off that ground. He's big, he's strong. This was a great run, but it was all set up because he and Marty Yates weren't scared to use their long rope tonight.
My name's Chase Brooks, and I'm a PRCA saddle bronc rider.
I like Chase's chances right here in Sun and Sadie. This is a Bartkowski Rodeo Company out of Utah up there, the Kirby family. And this horse is really good, long jumps, but Chase has the ability to be really fast with his feet. His style is good. Here we go. Good mark out, held his feet, has the timing. Now just get rolling. Oh, this looks good. Oh, little stutter right there. Now he picked him back up. Nice finish. Wait to see what they do. There was just a little bit, about 4 seconds into that ride.
It's the most peaceful kind of thing in the world. If you clear your head before you ride, and you know it's happening so fast, you can't outthink a horse. It's all reaction. It's all just, you know, either you're ready for it or you're not before you even nod. And you get in time with one, and it's like the world slows down. It's the only thing that matters. There's nothing else going on, and it's peaceful. That's like the freedom you're chasing the whole time. It's kind of like a dance, like you're just in rhythm with a horse. And when you get in time with one, there's no better feeling in the world. It's just smooth, and you wish it could just go on forever. We all know the risk, you know. It's just bad luck, you know, and if it's your time, it's your time. You can't do anything to stop it. You're probably more likely to get killed in the car wreck than you are in the arena, so I'd rather just keep doing it. And, you know, if God wants you down here, you're going to be down here, and if it's your time, he's going to take you. So it doesn't scare you, and it's just the best life in the world. I couldn't imagine doing anything but rodeo.
Rodeo is a unique sport. Unlike other professional sports, you and your animal partner are the team. You make your schedule and nothing is guaranteed. It's a sport where you have to win to go to the pay window rather than being paid just to be a part of the game. It has a competitive spirit without losing the ability to cheer on your fellow competitor. It requires a dedicated animal partner whether you compete in timed events like the roping events, barrel racing, and steer wrestling, or if you compete in rough stock events like bull riding, saddle bronc, or bareback.
What I love about rodeo culture is, you know, you don't get paid unless you win a place. And as anybody that's been to rodeos know, guys are getting themselves up out of the dust, and the announcer says, give him a big round of applause, because that's all he's going to be able to take with him from this rodeo. And I've wondered so many times, what would pro football, pro basketball, pro baseball be like if they paid them like you get paid at the rodeo? Right. You go 0 for 4, well, better luck next game. Maybe you'll get paid for the next one. But anyway, that's the culture of the rodeo. They don't expect any handouts. They don't expect any freebies. They're going to work, and they're going to do their best. And if it doesn't work out and they find themselves in the dust, they pick themselves up, dust themselves off. Sometimes there's injuries. And I was asking Donnie Gay, I think he's 7 or 8 time world championship bull rider. I said, all the bull riders I grew up with, they all had back problems. You surely have some. And he said, a doctor has finally given me a stretching exercise regimen. I have to do that every morning or I'm not going to be able to move all day. These are guys, and they know that going in, that if they really excel, there's going to be a cost to it. And yet they're still determined to be the best there is. And it's just, I mean, rodeo is really Americana at its best.
I didn't necessarily choose rodeo. It kind of chose me in a sense. I grew up around the sport, and for some reason, just as being young and watching my family compete, and I just, I never doubted the idea of wanting to do it myself.
They were 21 on him, and then Jesse Brown 4-7. Gets his head caught, pull it out, great run right there.
He just needed a Knowles to get a hold of him. Look at that, 3-6. Wow. Nice run. Way to go, Blake Knowles. I just about fell out of my chair right there. I got to be honest with you guys.
Well, Butch, you look at this. Watch this go right here. He sets it up wide, and watch how he rocks that steer's head and gets that left foot back. He has pressure on his toes and was able to get that steer's head across him, that nose come out. That is an outstanding run right there by Blake Knowles on a steer they hadn't done a whole lot on.
Yeah, I was kind of hanging.
I grew up and I was going to be a saddle bronc rider. My father rode broncs, and there was just no doubt that's what I wanted to do. And then as time went on, I started growing and getting big, and pretty soon I wasn't really built to be a saddle bronc rider. So this is the closest thing to rough stock really for me. I loved football. I loved that, contact type sport. And so this is, I guess, what I found in rodeo. It's not as much about competing against each other as rodeo contestants and more about competing against the animal you draw. And I think you see that a lot in our sport, that guys appreciate great runs. Everybody talks about how we cheer for each other, and that is absolutely sincere. When we see greatness out there, we appreciate it. And sometimes it might cause you to win second, or maybe you're the guy that wins first. But at the same time, it's less about. And don't get me wrong, we're competitors. Most of my friends are, state champs at wrestling or baseball or something. I mean, there's a lot of great athletes and fierce competitors out there, but the steer wrestling is just kind of a unique dynamic. So, kind of man against beast a little bit.
3 Cowboys splitting first in steer wrestling. Jesse Brown, one of them. The winning time was 3-9. Yeah, first steer, first NFR. He takes an early lead. Blake Knowles comes in behind.
I mean, it's one of the coolest sports in the world. Like, we don't get paid unless we win. We still go. We're all paying our own way down the road, and it's probably the only sport you can go watch someone in the arena and have a beer with them after the rodeo. So it's a lot more personal, I feel like, than the major sports. They're kind of elevated onto a higher platform, and we're just some guys doing this. So
my horse is 75% of each run I make. Without my horse and me not having trust in my horse, I don't know what I'd be able to do. I have to take care of my horses just like they're my pet or my friend. Really, I treat every horse like they're my friend. You got to have a real bond with your horse, and for sure, I got to trust my horse to be able to make the best run I can make. And a lot of times I'd have to mount out on horses or something, but I just don't have that trust. And I have 2 horses that are really special to me, and I know they're going to work their hardest every time for me. It's just you and your horse. It's kind of a bond. Whenever you win, it's like the horse wins also, I like to, whenever we have a big win, I want to praise my horse too, because he does his job the same way I got to do mine. But I feel like my horse does their part every time, so if we have a mistake, I blame it on myself, and that's just the bond we have. And you got to work with teamwork to make things work with your horse.
We have a 99.9% safety rating of all our animal interactions that we have. And we have animals that perform along with our athletes for 20, 25 years at a time. And, they're treated very well because of what they do and what they enable as part of the sport. We consider them animal athletes as well.
Superstars. Let's talk about another 1-2 ride.
There's a mare that makes it wild and blue. She's 17 years old and a national finalist. There's some babies who don't know how great their life is about. Folks, those young looking horses, they're going to live a life where they get a chance to celebrate their freedom every single time they go to work.
What's really unique as a professional sport is it's about us making a difference in the communities where we operate. So most of our rodeo committees have some sort of big charity that the community rallies around. Could be military, could be kids with cancer, could be breast cancer, any type of those types of things. And that's really what drives it. So it's really an exciting part of what pro rodeo is.
Friends, this U.S. Army veteran, he has walked the aisle. He was the first living soldier since Vietnam to receive the coveted Medal of Honor. He saved his entire squad during the war in Afghanistan. As a warrior, you are told to come back with your shield or come back on it. A man that would never look down, he would never look back, and he would never let go. It is the way that heroes are made. Ladies and gentlemen, U.S. Army Medal of Honor winner, how about a Texas welcome for Sal Juta?
I tell people all the time as a rodeo competitor, I'm so fortunate because I get to go to a different community usually every week, if maybe only for one night of the week, but I get to be a part of that town's biggest weekend of the year, over and over and over. That's a lot of fun from just the energy standpoint of it. If last year highlighted anything, it was how important community events are, and rodeo for the U.S. is the premier community event for, most of America. And it was kind of sad to see so many rodeos have to cancel, and with that came the loss of the biggest weekend of the year for those communities.
When we look at rodeo, it's a community-driven, high values, very patriotic, faith-driven, and it's Americana at its best. We have to bring more people in and get our communities to outreach and bring a friend along to have them experience something that is unique, it's true American, and they will become a lifelong fan. When you see it, there is something out of a rodeo that you're going to just put your hands on, touch, and say, I want to go see that again. Where can I do it?
Really, it's about a journey, and it's about really pushing on when things are hard, and it's about working together to accomplish a great goal. And we like to say you're only as strong as you are united, and you're only as weak as you are divided. And it's really a refreshing thing at these times to be able to go to rodeos and see a crowd so united around faith, around family, around the flag, and honoring and respecting those that serve our nation.
A sport born out of a lifestyle is special. No other sport is like it. Modeled from the tasks done on the ranches caring for cattle, rodeo is deeply intertwined with agriculture. It's a lifestyle for not only the athletes, but also their families. It requires the support of sponsors and your greater rodeo family. It requires faith.
I grew up on a ranch. My dad cowboyed our whole life, and he rode broncs when he was younger, and he had kids and had to settle down and sold his bronc saddle to pay for diapers, and we rode sheep since we could walk practically, and just kept going up. And I've watched the NFR since before I knew what was going on, and I've just always wanted to get there and knew it was going to be what I did. I love cowboying, but there's nothing that beats being a pro bronc rider. You're as free as you'll ever be when you're pro rodeoing. If you want to do it, you got to dedicate to it. You got to put your whole heart into it, and it's worth it, no doubt. I went through some rough years, getting hurt, going broke, and I wouldn't trade any of them to have a 9 to 5. So you you dedicate to it and you're going to make it. It's the best living you can make. Family's, it's huge. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my family. They've supported me from, being a little kid, hauling me to junior rodeos and helping me out when I was starting to try and rodeo hard, and I'd go broke and they'd help me out. And then rodeo itself's just one big family. Like the guys that we rodeo with, they're practically brothers to you, and everyone always looks out for each other.
I'm very fortunate to have my wife. I have 2 children, a daughter and a son, and I love the fact that I get to raise them in this sport. I wouldn't trade it for anything. The people that they get to be around, people I call friends, the places we get to go as a family and travel, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. It takes a pretty special relationship, in the family dynamic, because, there's a lot of travel. Our sport's kind of like baseball. It's a long, grueling season, and it makes us be gone quite a bit, but, it's kind of a good with the bad kind of a deal. And so there has to be a team approach and understanding that we're in it kind of for the long game. And yeah, it might not be fun to be gone for 2 weeks, but, hopefully if I do my job, it will create opportunities that we can build on as a family, and it's fun to succeed together too. They enjoy it. I enjoy it when they're there with me. Really, it takes us, like I said, it takes us, even the husband-wife relationship, it takes a really special relationship there, and I'm very fortunate to have my wife.
Senator Mayfield is up next. Now, Sylvester,
I came from a kind of a rodeo family. My dad brought me into rodeo. He's a 2-time NFR qualifier, calf roper also, and he kind of built me up to be a calf roper and taught me everything I know. And on my mom's side, I'm related to a couple world champions, and that'd be Jake Barnes. He's a team roper actually, so there's a little bit of rodeo background, but my dad's kind of put me on the elite level because he knew everything about the rodeos and pro rodeos. So I'm here today because of my dad and others that have helped me be here. Family is huge in rodeo. Really, you can't do what you do in rodeo without family. My family has been a huge support system to me getting here. I know it's just not an individual role you could do and be able to make it to the big leagues, and there's a lot of other families that help other contestants also. I have great sponsors that are just like family to me. We became so close, and just family is a big thing in rodeo. A lot of people don't really understand what rodeo is. They don't see the background that start in rodeo and what everyone's doing at home. It's the reason why we do rodeo, and it starts on the ranches back home, all the people working hard, and we started rodeo, and it's just something that people come and compete, and it's great watching. And a lot of people just think it's an act that we do, but it's really not. It's a lifestyle. It's something that it's my life for sure, and without rodeo, I don't know where I'd be. Winning my first world title was a dream come true to me. It's something that I grew up wanting to do, was to win a world title, and just being a little kid at home watching the NFR on TV and watching all the guys come up like Fred Whitfield, Cody and just some of them top-notch guys, winning gold buckles. That was where I saw myself wanting to be, and it made me go on the right path to be able to work hard, to be able to have a chance at winning a gold buckle. And last year I had a great year, the year I won the world, and it was my second NFR. Had a kind of a bumpy NFR, but everything was in God's plan, and I came out winning the world, so I'm very thankful for that.
He's on the start, throw. Uh-oh, look out. Shad Mayfield's after this one, stands him up his leg.
I've always had faith in God. I feel like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God sending me on the right path. I feel like I got to do my part and staying close with God, and it's just something I know that I won the world by $237, and I know that was all in God's will, because He knew that I deserved it, and God watches me wherever I am and knows the struggles of rodeo and everything, and I just feel like God was there, and He knew it was the right thing for me. And I actually won the American last year and won $600,000, and for sure I knew that right then that was God's plan for me, because I've never really been financially great in the rodeo aspect, and that really helped a lot. So my faith has been great in rodeo.
On Sunday night, we say goodbye and honor our heroes of the national finals in the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, This is Red Steagall and the boys.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
In the giving of his son, and the rules and regulations that have been printed in stone before time, you and I, ladies and gentlemen, are living in a time when we need faith.
Compared to some of the other sports. I was watching basketball the other day and I commented to my family, I said, it feels like you're in a sociology 101 class at a very liberal university. You're going to hear about all the problems in America and all the things that need to be changed. And, you know, you come to want to watch a sport and you're stuck with a lecture, you know, from a sociology professor. Rodeo is one of the few sports left where they stand for the flag, they pray in Jesus' name,
That's right.
They're proud to celebrate America, family values, hard work, individual success.
And they're not out to insult anybody that doesn't believe like they do. But if somebody else, you know, has some other belief, we'll respect that. But this is what we believe. So please allow us to do what we believe in. And that's been the great thing about America that's made it so great, is up until recently, you could say what you thought. You go back to the Revolution. A lot of people attributed the quote to Voltaire. Some say maybe it wasn't. But a lot of the revolutionaries were saying, I disagree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. Now in America, too many places, it's, I disagree with what you say, and I'm going to get you fired. I'm going to try to put you in jail. I'm going to try to destroy the lives of your children. You don't get that here. People love kids. You see them all over here at the stadium. They're coming, and they're really cute. But people respect them, and they love the family. And if you look at some of these groups that are inflicting so much violence, they say right up front, we're out to destroy the nuclear family, or sometimes they say the Western family. And I'm thinking Western family. It was Moses that said, a man shall leave his father, mother, a woman leave her home, two will become one. Then Jesus, when he was asked, said the exact same thing. Yeah. And so I'm thinking that's not really Western, appropriate for the Western Summit, but it's not really Western. It's more Middle Eastern. It came from Moses and Jesus. And they said that came from God. So anyway, this is where a nuclear family means a great deal.
That's right. That's
so
right.
it's American values that have allowed America to become the greatest country on earth.
It's just a celebration of that spirit. It's the ability for us to, you know, go out and challenge ourselves to be able to show our skills when it relates to being with the animals and being with, you know, that horsemanship, that workmanship, all of those different things. It's just a skill, and it's reflective of who we are as Americans. And so I just wish that we had more opportunities to get young boys and young girls kind of like how I was, and bring them out to the Western states. Bring them out onto farms. Bring them out onto ranches. Let them work with horses. Let them work with cows. Let them see that there's something different than just, you know, dribbling a basketball or throwing a football. Introduce them to the rodeo, and introduce them to be able to go out and do something on a farm or on their ranch with their own hands. Because I think the most important thing about rodeos is the pride that you get within yourself, and you get that title of being a cowboy or cowgirl.
Welcome to the Western Conservative Summit. Every time I've had the chance to join you in person at this event, it's been an incredible gathering of patriots. Thank you especially for allowing me to participate this year in an event honoring frontier freedom, something truly embodied by the Lone Star State and the 29 million Texans who I am proud to represent. First of all, I want to thank you for fighting for principled conservatism and for liberty, and for representing the Western United States at a time when our energy and our agricultural producers and their pioneering spirits are playing such a crucial role in the recovery of our states and our national economy. Today, we gather at a critical time for our nation and our shared conservative values, especially as religious liberty and conscience rights are falling out of favor with an increasingly intolerant segment of the media, the academy, and the entertainment industry. The threats to these freedoms, to our religious liberty, both in the United States and around the world, are never ceasing. As we have seen over this past year, not only does the radical left want the government to have more and more control over our lives, they increasingly turn to the power of the mob to try to cancel conservative voices, to destroy you if you dare to speak the truth, or if you dare to say something that doesn't fit with their narrow view of the world, of politics, of literature, of history, and of America. That's why it's more important than ever for groups like this to speak the truth against the left's cancel culture and to represent our values. Nothing proudly showcases Western culture and values more than a Texas rodeo. Texas families all across the Lone Star State come out to experience what makes our state so great: good company, good food, and a little good old-fashioned competition. Thank you to each and every one of you for your conservative leadership. I know that we can count on y'all to take a stand and to stand strong for faith, for family, and for freedom. God bless Texas, and God bless the United States of America.